See thee more clearly. Love thee more dearly. Follow thee more nearly, day by day. I wonder what the thee is. Sounds good. So who do you follow? Who do you spend your day with? What do you pay attention to? What do you talk about? What is it that you're copying, admiring, respecting, following, letting lead you? What if your life shows up exactly as you have chosen to see and love and follow? So if you see and love and follow goodness, your life shows up good. That sounds really easy. If you see and love and follow a mix of the worldly stuff and the spiritual stuff and the money stuff and the talk show stuff and the news stuff and the political stuff, and right, then your life shows up with a mix. I was looking at what seems to be being followed. What seems to be followed right now in your world? Who do we pay attention to? What magazines, if any, do you read? What are the shows that you're watching on TV? Because you are seeing it, aren't you? And probably you're loving it, not hating it, otherwise you wouldn't be sitting in front of it or reading or paying attention. And maybe, even without your noticing, you're following it. You know, there is that truism in research that who or what you associate with, you become like. You strengthen in yourself. So scan, just scan a little bit, if you would, how you spend your day, or your week, or your month, or your year. Just scan, look, pay attention. And you probably will, without recognizing it, have an experience of what's showing up for you. So a little stuff about me. So if I watch anything on TV with Robert, and usually when we have time, we sit down, hold hands side by side, and watch something that's either entertaining, or amusing, or inspiring. Sometimes beautiful too. I like the nature, the special nature show. If I read anything, and I'm extremely selective about what I read something that creates for me an opportunity to go within, to listen to my inner voice, my God voice. But mostly I live my life being. What does that look like? I don't spend time socializing, so there's no gossip. There's no opportunity just to talk about stuff that I might call meaningless. Ram Dass called it idle chatter. That's where I first learned about it, was in the 70s actually. And it felt really true for me to just step away and be guided from within. So that's what I tend to follow. Sometimes I follow like an urge or a calling. Like some of you've heard me talk about, I felt this huge need among our youth, especially in Lake County. The kids and the youth. And yes, their families and their parents. And I kept looking and wondering, who's going to begin to work on this? How is this going to get handled? Well, guess what? And that's the deal, is when you say who is going to do this, you have to ask yourself, is it mine to do? As some of you have heard me say, if you see a need, it is yours to do. If you hear and feel a calling, it is yours to respond to. If you begin to notice someone here in this setting or in your own mind, someone who just pops up on your inner screen, you think of them, it's yours to pay attention. Sometimes you're actually going to write a note, pick up the phone, in some way connect with them. But what I'm going to tell you is the very first thing that costs no money, takes no time, is send them your love immediately. Immediately. No hesitation. Follow what? More nearly. What are you following? What are you doing with 24/7? What is your conversation about? Your inner talk and your outer talk. What are you following? What are you paying attention to? What's moving you? You want to just space out, kick back? We all have ways we probably learn to do that. Some do something as simple as take a nap or take a walk. And some do something with pills or drugs or caffeine or nicotine or distracting yourself. All of those ways are simply ways to respond to whatever is calling in you. So I'm just looking at what's calling in me, what's calling in us, what's calling in the world right now. What is it that we're copying? What is it that we're feeling the urge to do? That's where urgency comes from. You have an urge, you have a calling. It feels important. You may have even been talking about it, but are you doing something about it? So I said youth and children, so what showed up across the street was a trailer, mobile home, whatever you want to call it, that was vacant, and if not me, who? And so we had a little consultation. Yeah, it's needed. And so yes. So in 3 days, rented, furnished, and study buddies began there with the first 10, 12 kids, and now it's over 20. And way, way, way more than that. Now, if I had been following money more nearly, I wouldn't have even considered. Do you understand what I'm saying? So what are you following? If I had followed money, finances, is this practical? Will this work? How long will it last? How much time will it take? How much energy will I have to give to this place? I would have said, not me. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
I want you to stop and look at what you are following. Do you read the Bible or some other spiritual book? Or do you read the paper and a stock market report? What's important for you to look at? Do you talk to people who want to talk about things that lift you up and open your eyes to possibilities, to inspiration, to hope, to the future, to optimum happy energy? Or do you talk to folks who want to criticize or blame or even say hurtful things? Who do you follow? And maybe even more important, who's following you? Who's following you? Is it possible that every thought, word, and deed you are teaching your whole universe? Because those of us in metaphysics know that's true. That every thought you have, every word you speak, and every action you take, everybody else is following, learning from. You're on a hit parade somewhere. I love accountability. It keeps me moving, going, paying attention to what is it that I am choosing, that I actually want my grandchildren to be aware of, my community to be aware of. What is it that I am giving with what I say and think and do that's going to make a difference? So even when I stand here with you, I'm asking what can make a difference here? What can make a difference here? For you and you and you and you and you and you and you. Because I believe everyone is important and that the world is following you. So now let's talk about thee. Thee. There was a time, by the way, we had these and thous, you know? Believe it or not, it was before my time. Okay. So what if the thee that we're referring to in a song like this is what we call God? God by many names, in many cultures and traditions, including yours, ours. Because we don't, here at Unity, ask you to believe a certain picture about what we're calling God or thee. We're asking you to look, to get in touch with what this God place, this omnipresence that Robert talked about, omnipotence he talked about, that lies within you, that lies within all. That we're here either to focus on and lift ourselves up, or focus away from and put ourselves down. Who are you following every day, in every way, with every word you say? Who and what are you following? When I'm following the value or values that I hold dear to my heart, my life is uplifted and I'm happy and on purpose and alive with energy. So I can tell. And I believe you can tell too. I believe you know when you are following the calling of your heart. I believe you know, absolutely without a doubt, when you are living an inspired life. I believe you know when you wake up in the morning and have something that you know is calling you to do that will bring a better way, more joy, more peace, more love to you and to your world. You know that day is going to be good. So what determines who you follow? What determines how you wake up, what you think about, what you do and say? You do. You're the chooser. You actually choose every thought, every word, every action. Probably at this point, most of us are not 100% in charge of what this good old thinker is doing. But the more you are willing to give your mind to God, to good, to love, the more you will naturally follow that place of goodness in you. And the more you give your life to good, and I mean all of it, body, mind, soul, sounds like one of the commandments to me. The more you give that which you are born and created to be to the highest good, the more you will know the highest good in your life. And the more you will be aware that your world is blessed by you being here.
Wow.
You see, you are a blessing. And the love is in you. And the peace you have in your heart. And you're the gift that's meant to be here to give. To live all that you are every day in every way. And I thank God for you.